Welcome to Lucy's Big Beautiful World of Painting. Today I'm doing a fun beach scene, and I'm actually going to be pouring some top coat on it and then blowing some waves with a hairdryer and some white paint. Lots of fun. It's great to use this product. A lot of people use resin to do this, but I use this clear pouring top coat from DecoArt because it has no smell and kids can use it. So there's a lot of good reasons why you can use this instead of resin, okay? So I want to show you how I approach that today. Now, first, I'm going to be using a Frederick's Red Label canvas, okay, for my actual project. When I practiced on a little canvas panel, and it did show some lining from the weight of the top coat, okay? These canvas panels are wonderful. I just think that when you're pouring a heavy paint on it, you're better off using a better canvas with the support, okay? So I just wanted to show you that first. So try not to use your panels. I use those for my practices and for my students also. All right, so I started one at home because I wanted the sand to dry. I am going to be using this texture sand paste. It's really so much fun, okay? So what I'll do is I think I'm going to actually show you the paste, all right? Let me get my canvas back again. I'm just going to show you how to apply it on this one, all right? Just so you can see how to do it. So I have a palette knife, all right? And I'm just going to scoop out a couple of the scoops of this, this paste, all right? I may not do the whole thing because I have it already done. I just want to show you how I'm doing it, all right? So here's the paste. It's a nice, thick, sandy paste, right? Now, you can tint it. You can make it whatever color you want. I mean, you can make it pink. You can make it whatever you want. I am putting in some raw sienna. So it's just going to automatically be that sandy color. Now, of course, if you go to Bermuda, the sand is pink, okay? So this is just wonderful. I'm just mixing in this color. And I'm going to put my palette back down. It's flopping around a little bit. So I'm going to mix it. So all I did was I picked some up on the back of the knife, and let me see. Oh, we got stuck in there. I spread it on, okay? That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, this little bottle goes a long way. You can do quite a few paintings, depending on how thick and you want your sand, okay? So this is a little thick, and look, I can just scrape right off that bottom there. All right, so you can just come and make whatever sand, oh, sorry, I was thinking what I was saying. Whatever sand motion you want there, you can make it choppy or flat, whichever way, okay? So I might as well go to the end of this since I have this out. I can use it for another project. There we go. See how quick and easy that is? And like I said, you can change the color of this sand any way you want. Now, I think that came out pretty good for doing it quick. Now, what I did was I took some glamour dust. I wanted a little bit of a glimmer in there, all right? So all I did was I took the glamour dust, I put some between my fingers, but I won't because I have too much stuff around. You can just come on and sprinkle a little of the glamour dust. Now, this glamour dust is different than glitter because it's very, very fine. It actually is like a dust. All right, so this is really great, and this is the crystal, okay? Just in case you want to pick that up. So I'm going to move this out of the way right now. This way, that being done, I'm going to just wipe off my palette knife so that doesn't get stuck on there. All right, I'm going to make sure I get rid of my paper towel. This way I don't make a mess all over the place. So what I did, I let this dry. Here's my beautiful sand. I have just a little tiny bit of glitter in there. Hopefully you can see it. I put a piece of painter's tape. No need to buy that expensive painter's tape. Cheap painter's tape is good enough. And I put a sticker over here where I want my sun to be, okay? So that's it for that stuff. Alrighty, so now I'm going to get painting. This little sticker is, doesn't stick that well, okay? But I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I wanna move it down a little, all right? So I have a limited palette today, not a lot of colors, just a simple scene. My main point was just to make sure you understood how to use the sand, this texture sand, all right? And first thing I wanna do is get some nice brightness around this. So I'm just taking my flat brush, okay? And this one is, I always have to look, the 3/4 flat brush. and a little tiny bit of flamingo. Beautiful pink color, okay? And I'm just going to lay some paint around. Now that's going to stick it right down there, okay? Now I'm going to put my brush in a little bit of the extender medium. Reason is I want to keep it damp so I can blend a little bit. All right? So I want more pink this time. I love the pink. There is my beautiful pink, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to dip my brush in just a corner in a little bit of extender medium, and I'm going to go into a cerulean blue and some white. I want a very, very pale blue, okay? And I'm gonna hold this up to show you. See my pale blue? I'm just moving it over, very pale blue. And I'm mixing in that little bit of extender medium. I'm using the extender medium because I want to blend, okay? So here we go. I'm putting this blue around. I'm just going around my smiley face there, okay? Now, I'm going to take a blender brush. Now this one is the 3/4 inch. This is the blender mop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in here and little tiny circles between the blue and the pink. Very gently in a circle, okay? I want to move over this way. I want to make sure I'm not covering. And I'm just blending, blending, blending. But I want to leave that pink, okay? And I have a couple little hairs. This is a new brush, so some of the hairs are coming out, and that's okay. All I have to do is go like this and flick it right up. Don't be sticking your fingers in there or anything else. Just come and flick it up. Now, it's already wet, so let me wipe it off and then flick. Okay, there we go, I got it. So I'm gonna come in, blend a little more. I got it, more hair. All right, can't help that. Brand new brush. The brand new brushes do this. So I'm turning my hand over and I'm flicking up. Okay, so that's how you blend between the two colors. So you could see it's nicely blended, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to make that blue a little darker, okay? Because I'm going now to the next layer of it. So here's the cerulean. I'm coming to the end of the pile. I'm dipping a little bit in the extender. Now, you can mix the extender in the paint first with a palette knife, so your paints are already extended, ready to go. I'm just doing it like this for now. When I take my time, I have all of my paints all mixed up, but this I think for the sake of the lesson, it just shows you how easy it is to do it this way also. Now, we'll see if this blue is a shade darker. Yes, it is. There we go. I feel it's a little dry, so I'm putting a little more of the extender in and going around the side. Okay, there we go. Now, another way you can blend is by using the same brush. I'm gonna wipe it off. Now I'm gonna come between these colors and very gently blend them together. Okay, now if you're not getting the blend you want, very simple, go back to your mop. And here we go. In circles, circles, circles. See how I'm getting rid of that harsh line? All right, so I got rid of some of that harsh line. And I'm going faster and really getting rid of that harsh line. But now you can see how everything is nicely blended. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to go to the cerulean blue again. All right, and I'm going to come in and, oh, need a little bit darker. I want it a little darker. I'm just going in the same pile. I don't need the extender medium because I have a little in there. All right, and I just have to blend one more time between them. I'll go back to my mop brush, and here we go. Blend, blend, blend. And you can see circles, circles, circles. All right, circles, and that's it. And you can see how nice and bright it looks. Now, I would spend a little more time blending. If you don't like this type of look, I think it looks pretty good like that. I like it. So I would leave it. So then I'll just come along the side here. Now, it depends on how smooth. If you want this to look very smooth, then I would use DecoArt's gesso and paint your canvas first with the gesso. And you could do a couple layers of the gesso, and that'll make your canvas very, very smooth. For this lesson, though, I think it's okay if it's not smooth, and I do like that artsy type of look where you see some of the brush strokes and all. okay? So I'm just going back and forth now to my cerulean. Okay, so like I said, at home, you'll take your time and you'll make it nice and neat as you want, all right? So I think that looks pretty nice like that. So I'm going to peel my tape off. There we go. One thing that's always straight is the horizon, okay? So if you want your horizon straight, don't try to do it by hand. Nothing wrong with putting on a piece of tape, okay? I just want to make sure I get that in the garbage there. So now, I'm going to come in with some cobalt blue. I want to darken it up a little, but I am going to mix some of that in the cerulean blue so we have some color harmony and it's not so stark. I saw in my painting, my practice paintings, it looked a little stark between the colors. So I'm going into my cerulean blue, and let me just show you this so you can see this. This one is the Traditions. This is the cobalt, okay? So these come in the tube. All right, so now I have that color a little bit mixed, and I'm going to come along here, and if you go across like this, it's very hard to get it straight, okay? I may do it just because I want to be faster, but what you can do is if you get a nice chisel edge, okay? See that chisel edge? You get a nice chisel edge. You can come in here and you'll pull down all across it like this. You'll push up and pull down. And this way you can keep that horizon nice and straight. See, I'm wiggling and pulling down. I'm wiggling, pulling down, and I'm doing this slow. Like I said, if you really want that horizon straight and neat, do it like that, okay? That's the best way to do it. Now, I'm gonna start to layer in some colors. All right, so now the water is flat, so I'm going back and forth. Now see what I'm doing here? That's dangerous because it's very easy to make that horizon line crooked, and then it's hard to get it straight again, okay? Yes, it's faster, but it's not that easy to do that. So I need to take my time up by the horizon, and what I'm going to do is I'm leaving this section underneath without putting this dark blue in there because I want to have that light, all right? So just coming back and forth. I'm gonna start getting that paint in. I'm going to go to cerulean now and start to get some cerulean in. Okay, where I see it's dry, I'll put more. If I can, I'm dipping the brush right now. It's a little bit dry, so I am dipping the brush in some medium, and I'll gently, gently, gently go across, okay? So I wanna make sure I keep this. Let me hold my breath a second. See what I did? So remember, do what I say, not what I do. All right, so there, that's crooked. All right, so there we go. Now, while I have that up, I am gonna go into the white. I don't want it to dry, so I'm going into the white, and I just wanna come back in here. So I don't want it to dry, I wanna get this in like this. So what I'm doing is I'm holding on the side of the chisel edge, and I'm blending it together with the blue that I painted on, okay? So I'm coming up to the top again, and there you go. So you can see how you can get that in there without having it dry and having a lot of problem with it. But like I said, if you use that extender medium, it's very good. So now I'm just gonna go back and forth between the cobalt blue and the cerulean blue so I can get in my nice water. All right, and I do want to put a little bit of that Sea Breeze is a beautiful color. I'm not washing my brush. Okay, it's a little greenish color. I want to get some of that in there. And then I have to get closer to my sand. So then I'm going to be a little bit careful there. All right, so I'm getting all of this in here. And I want, like I said, I want to make sure I use enough paint. I'm not using enough paint so I can see where it's dry. You want to use enough paint, all right? Back and forth. Now, this could be the first layer. I often suggest with acrylic, you go back and you do another layer because I can see in here it's a little choppy. You want the colors nice and rich, okay? But I just want to show you how to do this lesson. I want to make sure I have enough time to complete the lesson. And then you could always go back and, you know, do it on your own. Take however long you want. It's hard for me to do this because I'm kind of perfectionist sometimes, so I see things already that I want to fix, you know, and change. But I have to do this first. Then if I have time, I'll go back. I really want to show you how to get this nice medium, the top coat on. So I'm going to get a smaller brush, I think, because what I want to do is I have to get a little bit close to this water. Okay, now it's going on very easy, of course, because that sand is the paste. Let me show you again. This is the texture sand. I keep calling it paste. It is paste, but it's texture sand paste. It's really nice and thick, okay? So when I go next to it, I have that little like ridge, you know, that helps me stay above it with the brush, all right? So I'm actually kind of staying above that, and it's pretty easy to do. Because, you know, like I said, there is this nice ridge from the texture. If I go on there a little bit, not worried, so just looks like that water coming up there. All right, I'm going to throw that in the water there. All right, coming back again. And more blue. Then I'm going to go peel off that smiley face. Get some white in there. All right. And this does need, I think that over here and all, it does need another layer. All right, and I would go put another layer when you're doing this at home. Again, back and forth. I'm just going back and forth between the cobalt and the cerulean because I want a mixture of the colors. Okay, where I see the canvas is dry, I'm pushing a little harder to get that paint out. All right, back and forth again. So this is an easy beach scene to do, okay? It's not a hard beach scene. You just want to make sure that you have your canvas totally covered. You know, this is up here is a little bit too much. I would go over that. I'm going to go back to my white now and get more in here. So just like a little reflection, okay? See, it's blending right in. I lost my green, so I'm going to go back, get a little bit of green, back and forth. All right, so it's a little sloppy. It's okay. I think you see how to do it. I want to get more white up top here, but I want to choppy that up a bit. Oh, I can't even talk. I said biddle. A little. That's funny. All right, here we go. So now you can see I have too much white, but that's okay. Watch what I could do. I'm going to come in and get my darks back in and break that up. Okay, so that's easy. You have too much white, just go to your darker color and come, oh, look at that. I just got some pink. I picked up some pink. All right, so now we're going to get a little lavender in there. Oh, pretty. See that? Happy little accident. Back to my white. Now I'm being more gentle because I want some of that lining. Yes, I can see it's crooked because I am painting from the side, and I'm not going to worry about that. Because I know when you do yours, you're going to be a little straighter with that, okay? There we go. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And up to the top. Okay, so I do want to get a little bit of that sea breeze in there. Like I said, that sea breeze is that pretty green color. I want to get some of that in. I'm going to use a little bit of medium. It's a little bit dry there, a little dry. Get some sea breeze in there. Okay, so I think that I'm going to stop here in a minute after I get that little the sun on, so I can actually go to the actual pouring of it. So let me see if I can get this off. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, there we go. Now I can see it bled a little bit. Okay, so all I have to do is I'm taking a little liner brush, and I can come in here and very carefully I can come around and just neaten it up. All right, so that's something you'll work on if you have a little bleed under there, so to say. Okay, so I straighten that out a little bit, and I can see I can straighten that out more. I'm squinting so I can see. All right, now that's awful white. I probably wouldn't keep it that white. For some reason, I forgot the yellow. I might be able to use a little bit of the raw sienna with some white just to tone it down a little. All right, so yep, that'll do it. All right, just so I can get some in there. Of course, I can't use that brush. So let's see. I can try my other smaller brush. Let's see what I have over here. So I'll just use this brush just to show you. Okay, so I put a little bit of raw sienna in there. I had to improvise. I didn't have the yellow. All right, but I think you get the idea of it. So this is a little tricky, of course, to try to keep it round. And what happens is if you keep trying and trying and trying, before you know it, your sun is going to be huge because you'll keep going around in a circle trying to make it straight. Okay, so that's commonly what happens. So I'm just going to leave it like that, but I do like that I got that stark whiteness out of it at least. I don't want to use any more of the raw sienna though. All right, so I think we're okay. Like I said, it needs another layer. I want to show you the process though. That's what's most important today is the process. So now that I'm done with the painting, all right, so I put a couple birds on there. Let me get a couple of those birds on there first. Okay, so the birds, I'm just using my liner brush with some white, and I'm making some V's. That's it, V, V, V. Okay, that's it, V's. All right, so you can just put a couple birds on there. If I had the time, I would straighten this all out. I would go over these sections again. This I would not touch, okay? So what I need to do now is take this down and move it over because we're going to pour the top coat on top of it, and I'm gonna show you how to get that fun wave, okay? So I'm just gonna move this back. All right, I have a little a big hair dryer, all right? You could use a heat gun, all right? I have this that I got in a box that I'm just using. We try to use everything we can just to support it up higher, okay? So I think what I'll do is turn it this way because I think this might be easier for me because I'm gonna blow dry it this way. Now, I couldn't find my attachment for this, you know, the, I don't know what it's called, diffuser thing that comes out. So we're just gonna wing it, all right? So I just wanna move this over so I have some more room, because I want to use, I'm going to go from the right side, all right? Here's my paper towels. We'll get rid of this water so this doesn't end up on the floor, okay? So here's my painting, moving everything over, my brushes and all. All righty. And now we're set up, ready to go. I have a tray here, just with a piece of plastic on it. If it goes over, it's okay. We wipe it off. Like I said, this is very easy to use, all right? It does not have a smell. It's the high gloss. You can see from my examples, it's high gloss, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pour some in a cup, all right? And I'm pouring a lot. I may not need it all, but rather than go back and forth for the sake of time, I have a little cup. In this little cup, I have just a little bit of white, okay? Now, I didn't use the premium white. I used the Snow White Deco Art Americana for that one, okay? And I'm going to pour some of the top coat in here. So I want to show you how you can use this top coat as resin. You don't need the resin, okay? And with the resin, you need to torch. This, you don't need to torch, all right? So there's a lot of reasons. It's great for kids, great if you have a small area. You don't have to worry about that smell and venting. I mean, it's much safer. I'm just taking a popsicle stick and I am stirring this up to color the clear into white. All right, there we go. And let me make sure that my hair dryer is ready to go. Yep, ready to go. Now, with this, we have a brief amount of time, okay? Because what happens is the hair dryer from the air will make a film, okay? So I suggest that if you have a heat gun, try the heat gun. If not, try to use the diffuser. That will help, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to pour on the top coat, okay? And I am going to get it on me because I'm holding it. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, I just want to make sure I'm dripping in the pan here. And you won't be able to see the painting under it though, all right? That's why you have to look at my example there, because this is going to take a while to dry clear, all right? So I can come in and move this around. It will level. Notice I'm going right over the sand, all right? So now I'm just using a big popsicle stick, that's all. These popsicle sticks you can get in any of your stores, you know. You could order them, whatever. They have these are called jumbos. These are the jumbo ones, all right? So I want to get that on first, all right? Now I think I need a little more for the cover to cover the sand. I'm just going to pour it right out of the bottle. Don't do this at home. You don't want to waste your supplies, okay? I mean, this, thank goodness, it is not expensive like resin as well. It's much cheaper. And this you can do with children, okay? Thank goodness, the smell, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to wear a respirator or anything. So now I can see up top also, I need a little more. I mean, yes, I was pouring it down, all right? So I want to make sure I have a nice thick layer of this on because we're going to blow with the hair dryer. We need a nice thick layer. Sorry, I tilted that towards me, but I think you can see what I'm doing, okay? So now with this, I'm not worried about the sides because I know that I like to frame mine. If you think you're not going to frame it, then by all means pay more attention to your sides, okay? Make sure you paint your sides, put even the sand, okay, paste on the sides. Okay, so that's it. Now, what I'm doing is I have the little cup of the paint mixed in. All right, that's going to be along the sand, and I want a big wave over here coming across. Okay, so my time is up, okay? And I could tell my time is up because it started to get the film. Now, all I have to do is come in here with a little stick, okay, and I can just run this along because I didn't want this kind of a line on the bottom, and you can play with it for a while. You still have a couple minutes to play with it, okay, see? Just kind of moving it around while I still have time. This looks pretty good in there. I like the way it looks, and again, I'm going to just move this down. And that's it. There we have it. So I want you to try this clear pouring, okay? It's wonderful. Like I said, this is a great project for children, adults as well. It keeps you away from the resin and the toxins and everything else, okay? So thank you for tuning in, and please give this a try. It is so much fun. Thanks again.